The sun bled out over Buckingham Palace, casting twisted shadows across its ancient walls. Inside, King Charles III, once destined for greatness, was now ensnared in a nightmare from which there was no escape. The world hailed him as their monarch, but what they could not see was that he was already a dead man walking, a puppet in the grip of forces older and darker than anyone could imagine. Gaunt and hollow-eyed, the king rarely emerged from the palace's depths. His absence from public life was explained away with hollow words about routine health checks, but those closest to him knew better. His eyes had sunken into his skull, and his skin had taken on a sickly, ashen hue. The vibrancy that had once defined him had drained away, leaving behind a frail, hollow shell. Dr. Evelyn Haynes, a respected oncologist, was summoned under a shroud of secrecy. What she found inside those darkened walls twisted her soul. King Charles's body was being devoured by an affliction that defied all medical understanding, a cancer so vile, so rapid, that it seemed to have a will of its own. His cells were mutating, warping under the influence of something not of this world. The deeper Dr. Haynes dug into his medical history, the more she realized that the king's illness was no mere disease, it was a curse, ancient and malevolent. Her research led her to forbidden archives, where she uncovered the grim legacy of Project Crownfall. The cancer, she discovered, was no accident. It was a weapon unleashed to ensure that any monarch who defied the true powers behind the throne would be broken, consumed by the darkness that had always lurked beneath the crown. The palace itself seemed to turn against her as she uncovered the truth. The air thickened with the stench of rot, and the walls whispered in tongues long dead, their voices mocking and cruel. Then came the message, "You are too close. Stop now, or face the wrath of the curse." Attached was a video. The screen flickered, revealing a dimly lit room filled with ancient symbols scrawled in blood. A hooded figure stood before a grotesque altar, upon which lay a vial of thick, black liquid, bubbling with malevolent intent. The vial bore the twisted, corrupted version of the royal crest, its lion now a snarling beast with eyes that seemed to burn with unholy fire. The figure spoke in a rasping, inhuman growl, "The crown is a vessel, nothing more. He will be devoured, and so will you, should you continue to pry into what you cannot understand." The video cut to black, but the darkness lingered, seeping into Dr. Haynes's mind like a poison. She felt the palace's malevolent presence pressing in on her. The walls were alive, soaked in the blood of centuries, and the curse was watching, waiting for its next victim. The world outside continued its charade, blissfully ignorant of the horror unfolding within Buckingham Palace. The king was seen as a tragic figure, his health failing, his life slipping away. But Dr. Haynes knew the truth. King Charles was not merely dying, he was being consumed, piece by agonizing piece, by an ancient evil that had claimed the souls of countless monarchs before him. She prepared to expose the truth, but just as she was ready to act, she received one final message. The crown's curse is eternal. Your soul has been marked. The curse that had claimed King Charles III was a living nightmare, one that had stalked the monarchy for centuries. The palace itself was a tomb where the souls of kings and queens were trapped, their life forces drained by the insatiable hunger of the curse. Now, it had awakened once more, and it would not rest until it had devoured another. The story of King Charles's death might be buried under lies and deceit, but the darkness behind it still loomed, waiting, hungering for its next feast.
There is nothing we can't make scary.